today I'm extremely happy because it's an honor for me to present this wonderful chef, a man that, well, he's American, but he lived in many parts of the world, for example, France and Switzerland and Germany, where he was awarded with a Michelin star. Drew Deckman. We're here at his restaurant, Deckman's Almogor, that is delicious. Thank you so much for being with us, Drew.
My pleasure.
To be honest.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell us, how did you end up in Valle de Guadalupe? Because it's an honor for us to have you here, let me tell you.
Well, let's start with American, but also Mexican. I naturalized in 2018, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started out, I have a degree in philosophy. It's like, what do you do with that? I always cooked my whole life, basically, from the time I was 15 on, and was in Europe for 10 years. I thought I was going for 6 months and stayed for 10 years, which was really my finishing school. And then came to Mexico, and this year is my 18th year in Mexico. Started out in the Riviera Maya and then moved to Cabo. My other job that I've had in my life is fish for a living, basically professional fisherman, and Cabo was a place where I could fish and cook on a level that I was accustomed to. And then probably the first time I visited Guadalupe Valley was 2007, maybe, and just absolutely fell in love with the place. So as we were sort of designing the original restaurant, how do we be as close to 100% possible integrated with the ranch? Well, the ranch doesn't produce petroleum products, but in the canyons there's a lot of firewood. So that's where the wood-fired kitchen was born. And it's funny because the whole wood-fired thing is really trendy now.
I know.
And when we did it, it wasn't because I was trying to copy or be trendy. It was just like, well, this makes sense because this is what we have here. And it was probably 3 years into the project before I even heard the name Francis Mallmann, right? Oh, you copied Francis Mallmann. I was like, you know, I respect what he does, but I didn't even know about him when we opened. You know, we've got to the point where we grow probably 85% of our own vegetables. All of the flowers that we have on the table are from our own farms. We now have 3 farms that grow exclusively for us. 2 of them we actually own, and 1 is here on the ranch that basically custom farms for us.
It's absolutely beautiful.
And the idea is really to work in concentric circles. So, you know, concentrate first on what we produce, and then instead of just calling a purveyor and say, you know, send me all these ingredients, it's, okay, let's go out a little bit. If we don't produce it, what do our neighbors produce? All right, well, if they don't produce, well, what do their neighbors produce? And just sort of slowly move that way, really with the goal of being sort of a 0-kilometer restaurant if possible. And, you know, we only use products from the ocean, only from Baja California, and we don't import very much of anything. Our beef is from Mexico, our olive oil is here from the Valle, and really just trying to avoid any imported products in general.
You know, now that you're sharing all this, I know one thing leads you to another, and you have a show.
Yeah, we've been working on, we have one documentary that's actually on Amazon Prime right now called Ingrediente, a restaurant Uprooted. We started to film like an unscripted reality show in the kitchen. It was basically my daily life or the daily life of the restaurant, and then COVID hit and the production crew was still here, so instead of just canceling the project, they said, well, why don't we just keep documenting? And people were very interested in us continuing. So since November of 2021, we've been filming the first full season of Ingrediente Mexico. And we visited Veracruz, Yucatan, Tabasco, Oaxaca, Puebla, Mexico City, and Baja California. It's not a travel show. It has some of those elements. It's really more about sort of the plight of the campesino, the fisherman, a lot talking about the diaspora of ingredients from Mesoamerica to the rest of the world, and a lot of ingredients that today are considered Mexican, but came on a boat.
Oh.
Right? So since, the colonization, you start to think about things: onions, pork, chicken, horses, sheep, cilantro, all citrus, potatoes, honeybees. You start going like all these things that you go, oh, what do you mean? Oh no, they came from someplace else.
Yeah.
But then also talking about tomatoes and corn, tobacco, chocolate, vanilla, things that have gone to other places in the world that have become really, really important in other places in the world. Can you imagine what?
Sometimes you didn't even know they were Mexicans.
Exactly. So it's exciting. I've just learned
It is.
an enormous amount. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's, it sounds really interesting. Can't wait to see it. We have to.
Well, I think it's important that people that are visiting Guadalupe Valley understand the changes that we're going through. This is not the same valley that I fell in love with when I first started coming here. Obviously, tourism has become one of our main focuses here, but there's so much sort of non-passion-based investment starting to happen. Nightclubs, bars, things that have nothing to do with vineyards and wine and what really made us successful. And unfortunately, I think people are the focus is going away from the wine and going away from the sort of the pastoral life and the vineyard life, and it's just turning into colored drinks with umbrellas and pachanga and I think that's it's going to be our downfall.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. To be honest, I'm with you. I know you're more informed in that matter, but of course I know that it's going on, and I think that needs to be said, right now, and so we can be conscious about it. So thank you, for saying that and for being with us, Drew, and let's go and celebrate right now. We're here. We're together. So thank you again. This was Drew Deckman here in Baja Window to the South.